Hello and welcome back to Camp Ash. We will be continuing Dale's route. So, if you recall in the previous video, you saw that pretty much the story is going to go following more or less the same events that happen. So if you saw Janice's route, then you're going to know more or less what to expect, but there are going to be some things that do change. So obviously, Dale survives the initial attack, I'm assuming, or he's not even there for the initial attack, which means that somebody might be attacked instead, somebody that's in the kitchen, but we don't know yet. But yeah, one of the things that we saw is that Chip and Dale, the little moments that they were having at the beginning of the story sort of evolve into something in this route. And if you don't know what I mean, then like, what were you watching? Were you not watching the previous videos? Anyways, Dale pretty much has a thing for Chip, and Chip is reciprocating, or at least he decided to this one time when they were, underwater. Otter things. Yeah, so like, how is that gonna go, when Janice finds out? I don't know. But considering the fact that Janice is, not exactly a very forward-thinking person, sort of like Duke, I'm inclined to believe that that's not going to go very well. But we'll have to see, I guess. Yeah, so this is probably going to be the same length as Janice's, the end part of Janice's route. So expect at least, like, 2 hours. But yeah, anyways, so without further ado, let us begin, or I guess finish off Dale's route. I crack an eye open into the dark room, head pounding as my bladder rouses me from a deep sleep. The room spins a bit as I shuffle out of bed, Dale next to me on his bed. I can't bring myself to look around the room to see if the others are still here, too afraid that I'll spill my dinner all over the floor. I decide to wake up Dale and go with him to the bathroom. I'm pretty sure that we're still using the buddy system at this point. Dale. Hey, Dale. I whisper, poking his stomach a few times to wake him up. Dale, wake up. I gotta go. The other otter stirs, mumbling and asleep as I try to get his attention. Dale, I'm about to puke. Help me to the bathroom, please. I pinch his whiskers. Huh? Dale opens his eyes, staring awkwardly at me, slapping my paws away from his sensitive whiskers. I gotta go pee and you didn't wake up. Why are you waking me up? He manages to angrily whisper back through grogginess. I was too afraid to go alone. Go with me, please. Dale grumbles, sitting up out of bed. Let's get going. We shuffle out of the cabin, doing our best not to wake up the others. The two of us arrive at the staff bathrooms. The night air is still warm and humid. I relieve myself, stumbling back out from the toilets while Dale waits outside. Still feeling dizzy, Chip? I nod my head a few times, unable to respond. Let's get you to the shower. Maybe the cold water will calm your stomach down. Or at least, if you puke, it isn't somewhere that we gotta clean up. Dale reaches out his paw and I take it. He leads me towards the showers, my legs wobbling and uneven as I follow him. Dale turns on the shower head for me, waddling back to the changing room and turning away from me. Oh, okay. Let me know when you're done. I'll wait for you here. I feel like this might be our only chance to do something like this. I need some help. What's wrong? I need help taking off my shirt and pants. I wiggle my arms in exaggeration. I'm too dizzy to do it myself. Dale grumbles, walking over to me and helping me lift my arms up over my head. His paws reach down, getting up under my shirt and lifting it off of me. Okay, now you can get your pants now. I reach down, feigning inebriation. Please. Dale sighs, helping me unbutton my pants. I make sure to lean on him, holding onto a shoulder as he helps me wriggle out of my shorts. Okay, there you go. He turns away from me, hiding a stiffy in his underwear. I need help with these too. Just shower with them on. I don't want to see your... man. I walk up behind him, putting both of my arms around his waist, hugging him tight. I want to see yours, though. Dale doesn't respond. I lift the shirt up off of him, feeling his large frame up the hallway. He's soft. It's so different from my own body, and especially from Janice's. It's comforting in a way, like he's a big teddy bear that will keep me safe. It's not something that I ever figured myself thinking about, but I always end up cuddling next to him anyways, always fascinated by how much of him there is, and I've always been too afraid to say anything. He doesn't do anything as I feel him all over, feeling his stomach, his thick tail, and even groping his man boobs a few times. They aren't as sensitive as Janice's, but he still gasps a few times from the motion. Do you like that, big guy? I reach up on the tip of my toes to whisper into his ear. We shouldn't be doing this. No one's gonna know. We sleep together all the time. Why not just go a bit further? It's not right. What this is. I know, or at least I feel that I know what he means. But I want this. I've wanted it for so long, and I'm tired of not having him. It isn't so bad if no one knows, though. I promise. What about God, though? Well, I'm not gonna tell him, are you? Didn't know that you were Catholic, man. I'm not. Then how's he gonna know? Dale shudders and sighs heavily. He turns around, holding me into a tight embrace. He trembles a bit, holding me, head curling on top of mine as we stand there, shower running, muting our voices. I've wanted this for so long. Why haven't you said anything before? Why didn't you? I feel him against me, the tent and his shorts dwarfing mine easily. 'Cause I was a coward. I answer him honestly. So was I. I believe him. Scared what would happen if my dad knew, what other people would say too. Well, it can be just here. What if someone walks in? They won't. You don't know that though. If we get caught, it won't just be getting yelled at like when you and Janice got caught all those times. I don't bring up how talking about my girlfriend isn't helping him get laid. But that gives me an idea. Then let's go somewhere where we won't get caught then. Where's that? The water. We can do it there, under the waves like we're supposed to. That doesn't sound right. But it sounds hot. And who's gonna see us out on the lake? No one will ever be there. And we can do it under the water so no one will see. Dale walks over to the shower head, turning it off before walking up to me. He picks me up without effort, carrying me just like I was carrying Janice earlier that night. My cheeks burn red. Let's get going then. We make it to the boathouse, the path familiar even in the dark. Waves lap gently against the shoreline, quieting the pounding in Dale's chest. Dale places me down and starts to undress for me, showing off all of his body for the first time in an intimate manner. I take him all in, how big he is everywhere. I have to stop myself from grabbing him all over, deciding to put on a show instead. I take a few steps in front of him, turning around and bending over, lifting my tail high up into the air. I strip my underwear off, showing, teasing the other otter. I lean down, keeping the tail clasp on, and before long, they're around my ankles, and I step out of them, keeping the hook on my tail, revealing myself to my best friend, standing slowly to a bent position, exposing my... I never thought about this before, never indulged in the fantasy of being with another man, not especially Dale of all people. But hearing Dale's gasps under his breath, and how it makes my... so hard, made me realize that this is what I've wanted. For so long. I return to Dale, latching onto his back with my arms, and pull us close together, his poking me rudely in the stomach. I pull in, causing it to flatten against me, as I bask in his warmth and sighs. I've never been with a guy before, Dale. I'm nervous, despite being so forward. I know what I want, but I'm not sure exactly how to get it. Can you show me what to do? I've never been with anyone before. His twitches, a strand of falling to the floor. I don't know what to do at all. How about we start with this? I lean in, standing tall with emotion for him to meet me down. Our lips touch in the open air for the second time, our bodies flexing against each other. I'm starting to get as slick as him. That's nice. Doing that. I rub over his arm and back, feeling as much of him as I can. Feel me. Like this. He nods, copying my motions as he feels over my arms and back. I dip lower, caressing his rear and thighs, his body shivering under my touch. He's more shy, only touching the bottom of my back or the tops of my hips. Nervous? Of course. Let's get in the water then, yeah? I break from our embrace, sitting down into an empty dock, feet in the water. He obliges, sitting down next to me, both of our still standing out and proud in the night. I hold his paw and nod to him. We both scoot forward, falling into the water together with almost no splash. It's pitch black down here without the sun, the moon's light not penetrating the surface of the lake. It's scary not being able to sign to him or communicate in any way at night, but that makes the sensation of the touch all the more powerful, all the more erotic. We feel and grope each other under the stars, hidden from the world and ourselves. I feel up his ass, barely able to hold a single cheek in one paw, Dale's larger form dwarfing my own in almost every way. He still doesn't reciprocate fully, even under the blanket of the lake. I take it upon myself to grab one of his paws and place it on my rear, holding apart the cheeks with his fingers so that he can feel. Dale shudders, gripping tightly. I prod him to feel over the eventual touch sending shockwaves through my body. I was curious to play back there, but never brave enough. Now, just his webbed digit touching it is enough to convince me to play with myself more in the future. Maybe see what it's all about with Dale. Though I'm not sure that I can take his just yet. I signal to him my appreciation by finally grasping his, giving it a few pumps. That's all that it takes for him to finish. His dancing just below my grip, a gasp of air bubbles escaping his mouth as his body tenses over and over again in my grip. I kick us both towards the surface, afraid that he might have swallowed some water and his body not fully under his control from his... We breach together and he takes a big gulp, face flushed and satisfied in the moonlight. He kisses me this time, tongue full and heavy, breaking past my lips and exploring the depths of my mouth. I've never been kissed like this before. I've always would take charge with Janice, but it's nice to let go like this. Dale eventually pulls back, the Otter short of breath. Chip, that was... amazing. He kisses me again. I'm glad that you liked it, big guy, but there's more to it than just after a few pumps. Sorry, that was embarrassing. I know. It's hot. You were so eager for my touch. How about we do something more? A few more times under the water. He winces, grimacing at the touch. Oh, too sensitive. He manages to mumble out. I let go of his, patting his stomach a few times. What do you want to do then? Can I... You? I always wanted to know what it was like. Above or below the water? Dale takes a few seconds to think. Below, please. I fluff myself to full mast in a couple of strokes. It's all yours, big guy. I let go of the dock and we fall into the water together. I slip from inside of him as we turn and tumble into the dark and over the surface. The way he claws at my skin with such need and reverence, the way that I kiss him and hold him, how gentle everything is. I know for sure what's happening. I can feel it deep inside of me. I like him. I like him the same way that I like Janice. I want the same thing with him. I want him to be my man. Part of me wants to start loving him. We continue to kiss under the water for what feels like hours. We're floating on the surface, having drifted a fair bit away from the boathouse by now. Hey, Chip? Yeah, Dale? This was nice tonight. Thank you. Thank you for taking that big step with me. Of course, man. It was wonderful, really. I kiss him again. He giggles, meeting the kiss back. Can I ask you something? Anything. Was all of this 'cause you were drunk? No, at least I don't think so. It was just an excuse for me and for getting you naked. That's a mean trick, Bronson. It won't happen again. I don't think that we need an excuse to do this again. Did you want to do this again? Yeah, it was great. You were great, Dale. Do you want to do this after this trip? Like when we get back home too? I don't see why not. We got your place to ourselves a good chunk of the time. We got the whole desert once I get my van to. What about Jan? I didn't think about that. I didn't think about her. I just let the moment take me. I don't think Jan is into fat guys, unfortunately. I pet his stomach a few times. I like it though. So it'll just be us. That's not what I meant, Bronson. You know that. What do you mean then? Isn't this cheating? Isn't this wrong? It is. I don't know. It doesn't feel wrong. Do you still want to be with her? Of course, I love her. Do you love me? As a friend? Do you want to love me? As a partner? I don't know yet. Do you love me, Dale? Just as a friend, but I would want to love you more, get to know you more like that. But it doesn't feel right without telling Janice. I don't think that she will like knowing that. Chip. Well, maybe because I look at things different. With my upbringing and all. A man can't love more than one person at a time. So me and Janice gotta convert to Mormonism to be with you? Well, no. I don't really practice. I don't really like all of that stuff, but I think that I understand where they come from. Polygamy is only accepted within the Mormon society, and only for pushing out babies. Me and Jan both can't do that, so I don't think that they're gonna let us in. That is all very true. And more importantly, your pa's sister wives know about each other. They agree to it, even if it is a cult. It's not cheating. Dale kisses me again, holding my paw tight under the water. I don't mind sharing, though. The Lord knows that we can't really do nothing in public anyways. At least you can do it with Janice. I never gave something like that a thought before. But you have to tell. She has to know. What if she breaks up with me? Then don't tell. But we have to stop. Janice is my friend too. Hell, she works for my dad. We can't go behind her back. And you know it. I know. I promise that I'll think about it, okay? I'll either tell her or we'll stop. Thank you, Chip. It's only fair. It is only fair. He gives me a peck on the side of my maw. Hold your breath. He nods and I climb on top of his stomach, sending us sinking down just below the surface of the lake, our slick fur and naturally inclined bodies unable to keep up with so much sitting above the water. Both of our heads sit under the water, Dale gripping onto my back to keep us secured. Just a bit of me floats on the surface, tail just below the water. The night air licks my back, finally cold over my wet fur. We start to tip down, threatening to go upside down, but Dale keeps us oriented with just small backward kicks. We stay like that until Dale signals me that he needs to breathe, the two of us surfacing just before we flip, with me on my back under the water. More of Dale sticks out onto the surface. The two of us are able to keep upright without me needing to kick. It's not floating on him, more like using him as a raft or floaty. Feels natural. We flip-flop a few times, eventually ending up on our backs together as the night grows longer. Dale turns to me in the water, rubbing a paw over my chest a few times. I want to sleep out here with you, Bronson. Out on the lake. With us naked? With us naked. What if someone sees? We'll tell them that we just went skinny dipping is all. What if they catch us asleep? I'll get up with the morning. Always do when the sun does. I don't know, Cooper. Dale leans down over the water, kissing me on the snout. Please. It'll be like when we were kids. We weren't naked then. So it'll be nicer and more special. I can't really argue with that, and he did give me one of the best nights of my life, after all. Fine, but if we're gonna sleep on the water, we should tie ourselves to the dock. I don't want to end up washed up in the middle of the lake or risk hitting my head on a rock on the shore somewhere. That's a good idea. We swim back onto the boathouse water. We both know from experience that we won't let go of each other's paw through the night, but it was much easier to set up a safe float on Lake Emma, especially with the water stiller. But we didn't have any of the floats or netting here that we need for that, so this was the next best thing. I grabbed the dock, pulling myself out of the water and searching for the nearest boat tie. I grabbed the base of the rope, getting ready to jump back into the water when I noticed it's frayed a few feet from the base. Oh shit, this rope's no good. It might have snapped if we put any weight on it. Dale gasps as I show him the rope. It looks almost gnawed off. Maybe some feral rats got into it over the winter. Isn't that something that you were supposed to check? I was distracted, eager to get to the dock last time that I was here. Typical Bronson. I scoff, taking the rope off the cleat and putting a fresh one on the supply area, making sure that it's in good condition first. Happy with the tight knot, I dive back into the water. Dale manages to get the rope around my ankle at just the right tightness to be secure enough to not slip off while still being comfortable. I float on my back, Dale joining me a moment later. You know, isn't this usually a sea otter thing? I shush him with a quick bap on my tail, the sound thudding off his stomach. I reach my paw out to his, and he takes it, holding me tight. We drift off to sleep in a matter of minutes, the waves rocking our bodies gently up and down the whole night. The morning sun warms my fur, stirring me from my sleep on the smooth lake surface. Dale is holding my paw in the water, the two of us drifting out from the boathouse, the rope still tied to our ankles. I try to tug away from Dale, but his paw holds tight, not letting me go. Hey, big guy. It's time to wake up. I shake his stomach gently, trying to coax him out of his sleep. Dale mumbles while doing his best to ignore me. Dale, we're butt naked out here. People can't catch us on the water like this. He reacts with an exaggerated snore. Fine then. I untie the rope holding my leg to the dock and flop myself on top of the other otter, causing the both of us to slightly slink below the waves. My legs straddle him at his hips, his wedged itself comfortably between my cheeks. He starts to harden against me, just as his head begins to slip under the water. Hey, that kind of feels good. Dale mumbles, opening his eyes as I push more weight down onto his front, the two of us sinking down even more below the surface. His eyes open, meeting mine as his face goes almost completely red. Are you? Dale says, just as his mouth sinks below the water, the otter cutting himself off with just the slightest of drowning noises. The other otter pushes me off and I go crashing into the water. The two of us orient ourselves on the surface in just a few seconds. Are you crazy, Bronson? You could have killed me. You wouldn't wake up, so I figured that I'd wake up Junior. God, don't call it that. It's such a weird thing to say. You're just embarrassed that it worked. Well, it felt good. Did you want to do that to me? Put it inside of me, I mean? I've thought about it before, yeah. But last night, I wanted you and me. Really badly. So, that's what I did. Why, have you thought about bottoming before? Is that what it's called? You really haven't messed around with another guy before, have you? It's not like you have either. Yeah, I haven't. Though I'm really happy my first time was with you, Chip. The words pulled on my chest. It is a strange feeling, like I'm too warm. Like those are the words Janice would tell me that make me feel all good inside. The ones that make me happy to be with her more than just the pleasure of getting wet. Yeah, it was nice. Sharing it with you, Cooper. We should get back to the boathouse and get some clothes on, though. Even though I want to talk about this more later. Oh shit, yeah. We swim back to the boathouse, pulling ourselves up and drying off fairly quickly. It doesn't take long to get our clothes back on. Shit, what time is it? I think I was supposed to be back at the mess hall by now, cooking with Janice. Oh, she's gonna kill us for being late. Dale gives me an odd look. Is that all you're worried about? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that I promised to help out again this morning. Dale's face scrunches, but he doesn't respond with anything else, instead shaking his head and heading out of the boathouse. I follow after him. The two of us start to walk back to the mess hall together. So, I think that we need to talk. But later, okay? When it's just the two of us? What do you need to talk about? We sure did a lot of talking last night already. About... He gestures to the two of us. This. I don't think that I understand. We were just two buds together like normal. There's nothing to explain. It's just Dale and Chip hanging out together. If Janice is mad that we're late, you can say that you helped me out at the boathouse for something. Are you serious, man? We just talked about this last night even. We did? Do you genuinely not understand what we did? That we crossed a line that we haven't before? To tell you the truth, I didn't really think about it like that. What did you think about it then? Did you think at all? Well, I don't think that I'm a queer. I still like Janice. She's special to me and I love her. I really do think that we were just hanging out. It just feels good to touch. So we did. Was it just for you? I don't understand. We did more than just around a campfire. You did more than just let me help you blow off some steam. You kissed me and we slept together, out in the open, naked, together. The memories are fully there. I know that I did those things with him, but I don't understand why he cares so much. Isn't that just having fun? Do you know you like men, Bronson? I didn't know that, actually. What do you mean? What we did last night wasn't just hanging out. Even if it was just to you, you have to realize it. You have to know something that you did was wrong. And I ain't talking about being queer. Just tell me what you're talking about. Janice, what you did, what we did to her. You cheated on her, and I helped you do it. I know that I did it. I was fully aware, but I wanted to ignore it. I wanted to ignore everything. I didn't. If he just kept quiet, if he didn't bring it up, I wouldn't have to think about it. I wouldn't have to face myself about it. You didn't what? Want to think about it? I stop walking. Dale continues on a few steps ahead of me before I notice. I look to the side, too embarrassed with myself to look him in the eye. It makes my face burn and my skin crawl. I wasn't religious like Pa, so I don't know why I thought it was so dirty and sinful of me to sleep with another man. But it hurts deep inside, and I just wanted to stop. Dale walks back up to me and takes each of my paws in one of his. I try to pull away, ashamed of what's happening. Hey, it's okay. We just need to stop, yeah? I don't think Janice will understand. It's probably better that we just stop. I won't say nothing if you don't, Bronson. The thought of never doing that again makes my chest hurt again. It's stronger now, more painful. My eyes start to water. I'm not. I'm not no fag. Dale pulls me into a hug, rubbing my back a few times. We'll figure this out, okay? My whole world is spinning again. Nothing makes sense, like it's all been a dream. I feel so dirty, so betrayed by what I thought about myself. Hell, I never even thought about it before. I shouldn't have got mad like that, though. I shouldn't have said it to him. He might be a queer through and through. What should I say to Dale? Apologize for the implication. Dale. Yeah? I'm sorry for what I said. I didn't mean to call you a fag. He breathes through his nose, breath tickling my ear. It's okay, Chip. I forgive you. His voice is neutral and quiet, like he doesn't believe what he's saying, not fully at least. Should we be doing this anymore? I gently shake his paws with mine. Should we be close like this anymore? Do you want us to change? Do you want me to change? That's not it. Do you feel guilty? All the time. I don't think that I should have cheated on Janice, like you said. That's probably the correct feeling to have. There's too many things that I'm feeling right now. Do you think that we should tell Jan? I can't answer him with a straight face. Let's just keep walking and we'll figure it out later, okay? We make it to the dock now, just a short walk to the mess hall from here. What's that? Dale points towards the dock. My eyes follow his finger and land on a red figure stretched out over the wooden beams. It takes me a few seconds to process what I'm seeing. There is a person lying on the wooden planks, almost out of clear eyesight if you're looking straight ahead. But their fur is unmistakable, especially with the few people up here at the camp with us. Hey, Ernesto, are you just laying down there? The red wolf is lying on his side, one arm flung over the edge of the dock, over the water. He doesn't move an inch. The sound of the wooden boards creak under Dale and mine's weight, the two of us trying to get closer to get him up. We didn't miss breakfast by that long, did we, Wolf? He doesn't respond still. Chip, he's dead. His clothes and fur are soaking wet, still dripping into the water below him. His face is twisted and torn, like he was trying to scream but couldn't. Ernesto? I call out one last desperate time. What do we do? Do we try CPR? Anything that I try to think of just comes out as mush. Basic resuscitation should be an automatic first step. I have enough training to cover for this. I'm not completely unqualified to be a lifeguard. Yeah, help me get him flat on his back. We run to him, pulling his body to the middle of the dock. Get his arms down, and I'll start chest compressions. I drop to my knees, crawling up next to Ernesto. Chip. I put both of my paws over the wolf's body and start to push down over his chest to get his lungs moving again. Get his arms down. I can't sit over him correctly if they're in the way. Chip, stop. Dale pulls me back by the scruff of my neck just before I start to put weight down on Ernesto. Look, his arms are stiff. All of his muscles are. So what? So he's been dead for a while. A few hours at least. Ernesto looks back at me, eyes empty. Fuck. I'm too late. We're too late. Ernesto is gone. Fuck. Oh, fuck. What do we do? We gotta tell everyone else. Dale pulls me up by the feet, my body threatening to go limp as bile fills the back of my throat. I'm sorry, Ernesto. Is there anything different that we could have done? Everyone should be in the mess hall waiting for us. Once I'm on my feet, the two of us break into a jog, heading straight towards the building at the center of the camp. As soon as the building's front entrance is in sight, Duke walks up to the doors and heads inside, only glancing at the two of us running up to him for a half-second before heading in. We make it to the doors in a few seconds and pull them open ourselves, struggling to get inside fast enough. Janice ducks her head behind the kitchen, while just as we enter, Trisha has her head face down on the table, paws massaging the side of her head. Duke is just walking up to the same table before turning to look at Dale and I. What has both of you queers in such a hurry? I don't think that I've ever seen Dale move that fast outside of the water before. You assholes! You were supposed to be in here helping me an hour ago. Janice yells from the kitchen as the sounds of a few pots and pans falling echoes from the separate room. It's Ernesto. He's not at his shed, and it doesn't look like anything was taken or moved around there either. Miriam interrupts as she walks through the front door, face slightly annoyed. And where have you two been? Janice almost burned the place to the ground trying to look for the both of you. My girlfriend appears at the sound of her name from the kitchen door, marching up to all of us. I get promised help and no show on the same day? You two better explain yourselves right now. Ugh, can you all keep it down, please? My head is killing me. Trisha continues to nurse the hangover that she isn't used to. I told you to take it easy on the beers. Everyone, shut up! Dale yells as loud as he can, voice dropping an octave lower than normal. Everyone turns to look at the Otter. Ernesto's fucking dead! There is a second of silence. The others look blankly at the both of us. Shut the fuck up and stop playing around. He's being serious. We saw him down by the docks. He drowned or something. Don't joke like that. It isn't funny. We're not joking. Come with us to see. I don't think that they're joking. What makes you so sure? Dale and Chip don't joke like that, ever. They're idiots, but they're not stupid. I'm glad that she still has my back. Dale wouldn't joke like that, but I could see Chip doing it if Duke told him to. Please, just come with us. You'll all need to see it for yourselves. If my breakfast gets cold over this. The group follows us to the door and to the docks, Duke complaining the whole time. Until we get to the dock, Ernesto's body is still laid out in the open sky. Oh my God. Trisha covers her eyes with both of her paws and nearly throws herself onto me, doing the best to ignore the brutal sight in front of us. I comfort her with a few pats to her back. No, this can't be happening. Miriam walks over to the body and takes its wrist, looking for a pulse. Shit, he's really already stiff by the time that we found him. Duke lights a cigarette from his back pocket and takes a drag, blowing the ash into the distance. So, it's been a few hours, right? It's already been a few hours, yes. And you two are just telling us. We just found him. We ran right to the rest of y'all as soon as we did. And what were you two doing out here, when you should have been inside helping Janice with cooking? I can't even think about how to answer him without giving anything away. We were checking the boathouse and lost track of time. Did you ignore Ernesto's body on the way over? He's bright red against the water. I don't remember seeing any of your stuff in the staff cabin last night, or this morning either. Have you been out skulking all night long? What are you saying, Tibbets? That something doesn't add up here. Something fishy is going on, and there are two otters involved. Stop arguing. We need to move the body, out of the sun at least, and to where feral animals won't get to him. I don't want to attract any wild wolves or bears with the meat lying around. We can't bury him, can we? No, the police are going to want to see the body. Just leave him where you found him. I don't want to get in trouble with tampering with evidence. This is exactly where you two found him, right? Shit. We moved him. He was close to the edge. Chip wanted to try CPR on him before we noticed that he was stiff. So you moved the body? Shit. I was trying to help, to see if we could save him. He might have just gotten out of the water. There could have been time. Please, please, we need to do something. We can't just leave him like that, just sitting there. Let's just get him out of the way at this point. We should take him to the assembly hall or something, somewhere close to the front so that the coroner can pick him up easily. Don't do that. The counselors are coming today. We shouldn't freak them out with a dead body. Forget about the camp. Someone died, Duke. Someone that we didn't know, and someone that I didn't trust. I didn't know him either. He was just some wolf from Pueblo, some Sonoran dude that we haven't seen before. Janice takes a few seconds to see if anyone is going to respond. That's what we're gonna tell the police together, alright? Sounds good to me. Is that smart? To tell them things that we're not sure of? Well, we're not lying, and I'm not looking to end up in jail, so we should keep it quiet and simple. Let's not draw the cops' attention that we knew him or anything else serious. We don't need to lie about anything. We didn't do anything wrong here. Exactly what Jan is saying. We didn't know him, couldn't trust him, and none of us saw what happened, right? We shouldn't treat him badly. The guy was just trying to make some money like the rest of us. Who knows how long it's gonna take to let his family know too. You didn't know him at school, right, Miriam? Can't tell his friends anything? No, I haven't met him before or seen him with anyone else. He does go there though. His fur is distinctive enough to notice even on a big campus. Someone just help me move him. I don't like looking at him like that. Eager to tamper with evidence. Tracks with you, Bronson. Shut up, Duke, and help. I'm not touching no beaner that I don't know. Are you? You're being ridiculous. We just need to give the guy some dignity. Well, I'll pass. Consider me out too. I didn't trust him and I'm too small to lift him. Trisha is a sobbing mess, her head still sobbing into her paws. That just leaves the three of us then, huh? Looks like it, Dale. Looks like it. The process of moving the body isn't easy. It's gross and dehumanizing. For us and Ernesto. The weight is awkward and uneven. The wolf just hanging there. I feel sick and wrong for touching him, like it isn't my place and his bones should rest where they lie. But we can't hold him there. We can't keep him a secret for long. The counselors are coming today. They'd notice a dead body. They'd notice a bright red wolf lying dead on the dock to the lake. But would anyone remember him? Dale and I are able to manage most of the wolf's weight. Miriam does her best to help us lift him when she can. It's just a few 100 feet to the boathouse. We place him on one of the launching piers. There is a blue tarp meant for a boat that I unhook from its line to drape over the deceased wolf. His body now hidden away from the world for one last time. The three of us exit the boathouse, joining the trio waiting for us just on the outside. What do we do now? We can't just leave him here and hope for the best, right? We'll just have to wait for someone to show up, contact the police and let them deal with it. Is it safe here? Can we even stay here if we wanted to? I want to go, just be done with all of it. We have no way of knowing if anything changed since we came here. I don't know if it's worth the risk or not to head down the mountain. It might be safer up here for all we know. Duke stares directly at Dale and I. I wouldn't say that for certain. Someone died, so that means that something has to be going wrong up here, right? Based on how he died, we could be okay with staying. It could have been just an accident. Maybe he slipped and fell and hit his head. Last night we were all pretty torn up. It could have just been that. Idiot wolf goes back out to hunt and fuck. Stop talking about him like he's some sort of thing. Or isn't a person. It's sick. Was a person. He was a person. Come on, you don't need to be that harsh. We're just trying to deal with all of this, okay? Are we staying or are we leaving, though? We need to report this to the police as soon as possible. We shouldn't wait for the phone or power lines to come back either. Let's just stay. It doesn't matter. No one's going to do anything about it. There's no way that they don't listen to the six of us about it being an accident. We need to go down the mountain, report it as soon as possible like Trisha said. There's no point. He's still going to be stinking out the place. The counselor bus is coming up soon too. We can't leave them here with a dead body, no power, and worst of all, no fucking food. That's crazy. Who cares about any of that? We have to do something and we can't just sit around. I think Duke is right. Unfortunately. Leaving everything up here unfinished with no adults isn't going to go over well for a bus of nearly 20 teenagers, even if it is just the regular counselors and not the campers. To be honest, I didn't think about that either. We still don't know if the road is fixed yet, too. I completely forgot about that, about the bullshit that got us trapped here in the first place, why the director was still gone, and probably why the counselors haven't shown up on a bus yet, too. Maybe it'll be better to be up here all together, better than running out of gas and not even halfway down and being stuck wandering around aimlessly. I guess we're staying then? There really isn't any other choice. If someone could take his motorcycle, it might be different. Should we check his pockets for his keys? Let's not desecrate a corpse in the process of trying to treat it better. Shame. We could have gotten a free bike. Who the fuck is that? Janice shrieks. The coyote's face is pale, her fingers pointing flatly across the far side of the lake, nearly a 3-mile distance over the reflective surface. A figure stands against the forest, body on 2 legs, but hunched over into itself, rising from the water. It doesn't shake off the water or make any attempt to dry themselves. It feels like it's moving like a feral predator, scanning the landscape back and forth a few times before turning its head and body around to look at us. Once their head is turned to us, it doesn't move, instead only staring directly at our group for a few seconds before scampering off into the tree line, away from the lake. Did you all see that? There's some hillbilly up here stalking us now. That was someone, all right. I thought this portion of the land was private property for the camp. It is. There's no other trails leading up here, or at least not from the far side of the lake. There shouldn't be anyone up here. What if they're the ones who killed Ernesto? Did they look funny to you? Like they weren't moving right or something? It's probably just the distance. The other side of the lake is about as far as our eyes can see before images start to become more and more blurry. They were wearing something green, or their fur is brown, so they just blended into the trees a bit too. Sounds like some kind of hunter maybe, probably trying to sneak up on some wild game. People shouldn't be hunting here, especially with a bunch of kids coming soon. I don't like the way that they looked at us. When has not being supposed to hunt somewhere stopped any kind of hunter though? Duke has a point. My pa and brothers went hunting all the time when and where we weren't supposed to. I was lookout for the rangers most of the time, especially when I was too small to shoot a gun. We should go check it out, especially if it's a hunter. We need to tell them to back off with kids coming out here. Maybe they have a radio or vehicle to get down here and call the cops to, or maybe they can do it for us. That's crazy. What if he shoots at us? Maybe we should get the gun out of Henry's office? And go threatening a whack job country folk with a gun, who might already have something at a higher caliber with an itchy trigger finger? Most people would call us whack job country folk. Yeah, but I'm not out here stalking a forest meant for kids in the middle of the day. We should just leave the asshole alone before we get shot. Did any of us see a gun on him? Or anything else dangerous? There was something wrong about him, about the way that he moved, about how the whole situation felt. I can't put it into words really. I feel shaken, nervous about the whole thing, like I can't just put it behind me. I just can't keep ignoring what's happening in front of me. I didn't see anything. Hey, if it's across the water, maybe me and Chip should go, yeah? It'll be faster that way, if something happens to the boat, for us to get back, than any of you running around the lake. We can both go then. We might be able to swim faster than rowing to. If we pace ourselves, it isn't that far of a swim for us, to be honest. I want to go too. I don't trust either of you to keep the conversation civil. If it was a hunter, I need to be sure that they know how much help we need up here, how serious of any of emergency this all is. Always trusting the 2 otters over the water. Sounds like a recipe for disaster to me. They're the best at swimming though. Who else is going to help as much if anything happens? Who else can get away with drowning a body like nothing went wrong, especially out in an open water where it's hard to see anything? Stop blaming us, asshole. Well, I'm not risking going out so far away from the camp, even if it's just a regular hunter and not a psycho. If the bus makes it here, I'm heading straight out of here. I want to tell her that it's selfish to run, to just pretend that it isn't happening. But if her leaving keeps her safe, then I need to bite my tongue. None of you should go. We should all just stay here and stay safe. Nothing might even be happening. All of this worrying could be putting us into more danger than just staying calm and safe here together. I'm going. I've already made up my mind. I'm not letting Miriam go across the water by herself, and the walk around the lake is even longer if we don't go with her. I'm staying here. In case the police show up, I'm going to make sure that we tell them everything. She glares at Janice and Duke. And not leaving anything out in a stupid attempt to try and make things better. We're probably not getting paid anymore, so I'm staying. I don't mind trying to bail in my car if things get worse. I don't want to leave Dale alone, and Janice should be safe here with Duke nearby. It's not like the hunter is over here or anything. I'll go with Miriam and Dale. It'll be safer that way. I'm gonna go pack my things. I'll go with you. I don't want to be alone out here. Might as well go finish the weed before the cops show up. We'll be back in a few hours. If you leave on the bus or anything, you better all leave a note or something. Duke raises a paw into the air as acknowledgement as the three walk away back to the main camp. This isn't gonna be fun, but we should probably get a boat from the boathouse to go across. I know you guys can swim, but I don't want to be in the water for long enough to swim across. Back inside the boathouse, we set off on unmooring and getting inside the boat. I pass an oar from the barrel to Dale and Miriam, making sure to grab one for myself before setting into the center of the boat, tiptoeing around the sheet-covered body the whole time. We're out into the open water in no time, paddling quickly away from the morbid boathouse. Miriam is in the front of the boat, navigating on the calm surface, with Dale sitting in the back, their weight balanced with me in the center. The paddling is easy, Miriam able to guide us into a simple rhythm with ease. It doesn't take long for my arms to grow tired, my body much better suited for gliding through the water instead of over it. It's been half an hour and we're about halfway across the lake, most of the way there already. Have you seen the hunter anywhere on the shore? I haven't. Been doing my best to keep an eye out too. Maybe they spooked when they saw us and took off? You don't think that they're going to shoot at us, right? I hope not, especially if we look like we're supposed to be out here. What do we do if it's some crazy hillbilly? Hope that they're smart enough to not shoot someone on private property, then hope that they realize that they should get out of here. Even if it is some crazy hillbilly, it's probably better one of us gets shot than any of the kids. The thought of having to take a bullet for someone makes my stomach twist in knots. But Miriam is probably right. Protecting the counselors and campers is definitely part of the job that we signed up for, even if it wasn't specifically in the job description. You know, this was supposed to be an easy job for me, just teaching kids how to swim and spending all day in and around the lake. Tell me about it. I was going to have to cook like normal, but with the benefit of not having to deal with any whiny customers. I was hoping that this was going to give me some forestry experience, to be honest. How about with planning around Echo? It's really motivating to see someone care so much about the old rundown town. And surprising. It's just something worth fighting for. There is a sudden cracking sound as the world spins at a point right in front of us. Things go black for a second before I realize that I'm underwater, thrown from the boat. It takes me a few seconds to orient myself before I paddle to the surface. The boat is split in two, now just pieces of driftwood floating upside down on the surface of the lake. Miriam clings to one, eyes wide with fear. Dale surfaces a second later, looking around just as lost and confused as the rest of us. What the hell was that? There was some kind of gross sound and we went overboard. How did the boat get split in two? We're not that fat, right? No, it looks like something broke it. It's all jagged and split up, like something smashed right into it at a right angle. How's that even possible? The thing is solid wood. The Gila jitters her teeth against themselves, shivering in the water. She tries to scramble onto a larger piece of driftwood, but it just sinks further to counteract the buoyancy, leaving her just as drenched in the water. Come on, we need to get her back onto land. Shit, we're practically in the center of the lake right now. Let's just keep going. I'm gonna need a fire anyways after the swim. Make one there. I want to tell her that I don't know how to do that outside of a pre-built pit very well, but it's probably better if I don't. Get on my back. I'll help swim you to the shore. It'll be faster and I won't get tired as fast as you swimming. Me and Dale will trade off. Can't you guys swim faster than before needing to get tired? Dale and I give each other a knowing look. Not with our clothes on like this. I don't want to lose this shirt. It's limited edition. I guess I won't freeze to death in half an hour. Maybe another 40 minutes, when it could be less than 15 if we stripped. I don't feel like clinging onto either of you naked, so just hurry up. I'll need that fire anyways. Miriam paddles over to Dale, the otter sinking below the water for a few seconds to let her climb onto his back. We start to head over once she's secured, trading ever so often. I haven't swum in clothes in so long. It's much harder, weighing me down the whole time. I wonder if this is how species without specialized fur feel when trying to swim. Dale and I are out of breath by the time that we make it to the shore, both of us pulling ourselves out of the water as Miriam walks out without much struggle. Thanks, guys. She is shivering even more now. Me and Chip will get that fire started for you, Miriam. Don't worry. We should dry our clothes before we walk back. Janice is gonna kill me when she hears that I stripped down to my underwear in front of you, Chip. Let's, agree to leave that part out. Come on, Bronson. We should get looking for the firewood quickly. I'll build a pit right here. Maybe one of them across the lake will see and realize that something is wrong. Dale and I go into the same tree line the hunter did from earlier. The forest thick and dense just past the shoreline. It doesn't take too long before Miriam is out of sight as we look for dead, dry kindling. We don't need a lot, just something nice and dead to get a fire going. Doesn't need to burn very long either, just long enough to dry our clothes. Shit, will this be enough for Miriam? Yeah, it isn't that cold here at least. The sun is probably doing a good job on warming her up too right now. Man, who could have done that to the boat? It doesn't make any sense. I've been trying not to think about it. There's a lot that I'm not thinking about. Do you want to talk about what happened last night? No. What else is there to talk about? I just want to know if it really was just to get your rocks off. I thought that we had something more, something special that we shared. Dale. Was all of those times at my house? All the times that we shared the same bed, sitting with our tails curled around each other? Was it all just a show? I don't know. What are we? We're best friends. Is it anything else? We stop looking for kindling at this point. Do you want to be? I told you I'm not queer. It doesn't matter what I want or what you are. You're the one with a girlfriend already. It's up to you. I think that I want what we were before. Just sharing moments. Is that all that it really was? That's selfish. That feels worse than just cheating. I think you need to decide, Chip. You can't have it both ways anymore. Dale puts a paw on each of my shoulders. We can't go back to pretending anymore, not after you were inside of me. Not after you marred me like that. His face is flushed and he's not looking at me anymore. I think he's serious though. I don't know what I want though. I don't know what I am or what's happening anymore. It hurts to say this. I'm so confused, and so much has happened today. Can you give me some time, please? No. What? No more time. No more beating around the bush. No more using me like a handkerchief to cry into when things aren't going right with Janice. That's not fair. You're my friend. You're supposed to be there for me. I'm there for you all the time that you fight with your dad. You don't hold me in my sleep after that. You don't make excuses for why we sink like that into each other. You don't risk anything to share what little time that we have. I do, all the time. Do you know how many times my dad has called me a fag for being so close to you? How close he is to the truth and how much it hurts to always just put up with it? You've never told me that before. How was I supposed to know or help? You wouldn't have. You probably would have said the same thing as my dad and made things worse. You're so dense, Bronson. You can't see what's right in front of you. Not even when it's staring me directly at the face, trapped in between the headlights. You have to choose, Chip. Now. Am I going to keep being intimate with Dale? I want to keep being close with you, Dale. I want to try this out for real. Dale pauses for a moment, like he's waiting for a punchline or for me to tell him that I'm just kidding. But I mean every word of it. Chip? He kisses me, deeply and fiercely. He pushes his tongue past my lips, opening me up for him. It's different from last night. Last night, he let me take charge, but now he's in control. It makes my stomach flip, makes my breath run short. And I can't get enough of it. Dale lets me go before we can do anything else stupid. The hardness in my shorts uncomfortably against my tight wetness. I'm really happy to hear that, Bronson. It means a lot to me. It really does. He kisses my forehead, my cheeks burning bright. We can talk later, when we're back home and safe, okay? Yeah, let's figure this out when we can. We gotta help Miriam. Come on, we need to finish finding the firewood. Miriam's waited long enough. He's right. We've left her for too long as it is. We're back with enough kindling in a few minutes, ready to get a small fire going to dry out our clothes before the walk back. Only to find an empty campsite. A few rocks sit in a half-completed circle. There is a line in the sand drawn out by a claw marks leading to the shoreline. A separate set of lines in the sand leads straight back into the water from where the circle was half finished. Miriam? I call out to her, dropping the kindling into the circle Miriam had planned out and only half finished. Dale drops into the fire pit, scanning the area with the paw to his forehead like a visor. Where did she go? Miriam? I call out louder and wait for a response. Shit, this isn't good. What if she went out looking for firewood or something? Maybe she was cold and needed to move around in the sun? She wouldn't have hiked far enough not to hear us or make her way back, right? No, she's smarter than that, and she wouldn't just leave, especially without saying anything. She's the one who told the others to leave a note if they did bail, and she wouldn't get lost like that. Not so easily, at least. This isn't like her at all. Do we go looking for her? Should we wait it out? Let's just get this fire going in case that she does come back. We can dry our clothes off, too, while we wait. Dale goes to gather nearby rocks to finish the circle while I get down on my knees to start a friction fire in the kindling. It's a slow process, but I'm able to get it going in a few minutes. The pit is fully set up by then, and the circle of rings keeping things somewhat safely contained. The fire is so small though, and barely providing any warmth. I'll go find some actual firewood then. Dale starts to walk off, about to leave me by the shoreline by myself. The sight of the shifting water makes my stomach hurt for some reason. Hey Dale, wait a minute. I stand up, jogging over to catch up to the other otter. We should stay together. It's probably safer that way, especially if that hunter is still around here. Okay. He takes a few seconds to think something over in his head, his face unreadable for a few moments. You don't think that he did something to Miriam, do you? We would have heard a gunshot or something. Or at least her yelling. We should just, get this firewood now. It takes us a bit longer to get the firewood, enough time for Miriam to get back if she was looking for anything. At least I hope so. The kindling is still burning when we get back, no sign of Miriam still though. We're able to get the fire going without scorching ourselves, the fire hot enough to be felt throughout the hot summer day. Dale starts to take off his clothes, placing them around the ring of stones, though most of it just ends up in the sand. I take the time to admire his body before I start to undress. It's different now, after what I just committed to, after what we did. I feel silly not looking much earlier when he was always there in front of me this whole time. The two of us end up in just our underwear. Dale blushes hard as he goes to peel off the last of his modesty, placing it next to the fire. What are you doing? What if Miriam comes back? I'll tell her the truth, that I didn't want to rash walking back all those miles to camp. I follow suit, face blushing hard as I expose myself to the outside world again. We wait there for what feels like hours, making small talk every now and then, remembering all the time that we slipped away from each other when his parents would get home, all the moments that we would steal with each other even when the others were there, even when Janice was there. You know, it really never did occur to me that what we have, was like that. It's not your fault you're stupid, Bronson. I just can't believe it. It was always right there, always obvious. I never said anything because I thought that you knew. You never brought up how it was wrong to Janice. I figured that we weren't kissing or touching each other's pee-pees. So it didn't really count. Dale kicks into the sand with a foot, his body spread out while he holds himself up by his paws. Sides. What else were we gonna do and echo about it? Being queer isn't exactly something people put up with unless they're hippies. And even then. He was right. That's what was making me the most nervous too. Not trying this with him, not thinking about myself and what I really liked. It was about what we were gonna do once we made it home. We sit there, naked together for what it feels like hours. Most of our clothes are dry by now, at least dry enough to walk in without being way down in them. She should be back by now. I think that we need to go looking for her. Maybe she just walked back? I've been looking across the lake. I haven't seen any sign of the others, let alone her. Would she have made it back by now? Yeah, she keeps a pretty decent pace walking, and it's been almost 2 hours. If anyone would have made the walk by now, it would have been her. Maybe we should head back then. If she isn't hurt, she'll be fine by herself. What if she isn't? It might be too late already. We don't have any water or anything either. We never got to eat either. My stomach's been rumbling. Part of me wants to yell at him for worrying about food at a time like this. But he's right. We don't have the energy or supplies to go searching blindly. Miriam would be able to hold out better as a lizard person with less food and water too. We didn't even end up looking for that hunter either. Did you see it, Chip? I pretend not to hear him. The line in the sand. Back to the water. I did. Did she go back in? Swimming and drag her tail all the way? I don't have an answer, so I don't respond. I'm going to go looking for her. In the water. Dale takes off his clothes again, leaving just his underwear on this time. I'll be right back. He jogs into the waves, disappearing in just a few seconds. The whistling of the forest makes my skin crawl, my fur is standing on end from the sensation. The sound of birds chirping in water are loud, almost deafening, when I know that it shouldn't be silent though. A few minutes go by before the lump in my throat makes it hard to breathe. My foot keeps tapping into the sand while I wait for Dale to surface. He'd still be fine by now, I know that. But I can't shake the feeling that something is wrong, that we shouldn't be in or near the water. Not after what happened to our boat. Dale? I shout over the water surface, hoping that he'd hear me if he was near the top. No response. Shit. I take off my clothes, down just to my underwear to go looking for him. I get a few steps into the water about to dive out and dive under when a shape starts to form near the surface. What the fuck? It catches me off guard, my body about to dive right on top of it. But it's just Dale, the otter finally surfacing for a deep breath. Whoa, were you gonna take off without me? No, I was just getting worried. I wasn't gone for more than 5 minutes. I know. I'm just worried. Something isn't adding up. Something just feels wrong. I get what you mean. Like, the water isn't happy for some reason. You feel it too? Otters and their water. Dale pats my shoulder a few times. Should we walk back then? It'll take the two of us over 2 hours to walk back in our stumpy legs, but probably no longer than 20 minutes if we swim, especially without any clothes on. We'll swim. It's the only way to make it back in time. Yeah. We'll leave the fire going in case Miriam gets back and needs it. Saying it feels like an empty gesture to a hopeless situation. I give Dale a minute to recover from his swim. Dale eventually pats me on the shoulder to signal that he's ready. We dive in together, the cool water staving off the hot summer sun now high in the sky. We don't talk on the way, able to navigate and communicate enough while swimming. It's much slower than our race to the dock, but the pace is easy and stable. It's like a light jog for most other species. I'm in shape enough to keep up with Dale, though, thankfully. The two of us pass by the wreckage. The lake is still enough to not have moved the debris by the time that we make it back to the middle of it. I notice a black mass bobbing up and down in the water near the planks of wood. I'm able to signal to Dale to slow down, the two of us coming to a smooth and swift gliding stop in front of it. A black scaled leg ascended with orange spots sits in the water. A trail of blood sits leaching out from where it was obviously torn from someone. No. No. It couldn't be what I was seeing. It couldn't be the only thing that made sense. Dale dives under the water, ignoring for a distance, as he scans over the lake. Miriam! No response. Miriam! I yell it again, looking over the surface of the lake as best as I can from the surface of itself. There's nothing but what is most likely the leg of our friend floating in the dead center of the water. I dive my head underwater. Dale is near the bottom of the lake, scanning the sand for signs of anyone. I swim to the two pieces of the wreckage, checking around each one for the Gila. There's nothing. There isn't any blood stains. There isn't any torn clothes or claw marks. It's like the boat just was left there in the same state from whatever broke it in the first place. And we didn't even stop to think about what it could have been. I surface for a breath, panic rising in my chest, making me need oxygen much sooner than normal. Dale surfaces a few moments later, his face just as shocked and hopeless as mine. There's nothing down there. Nothing that I can see that looks like her. I didn't find anything by the wreckage either. Like, whatever happened is separate. Is that leg really Miriam's? Of course it is. Why would anyone else, let alone another Gila, be out in this lake right now? We don't know. But even if it isn't, we need to get out of the water as soon as we can. Yeah. Our pace the rest of the way to the dock is faster this time. It doesn't take long for me to start to get winded, but the fear of staying any longer than we need drives me forward, doing my best to keep up with Dale, who's definitely slowing down to let me keep up. We're almost to the dock before long, about the same distance that Dale and I dove down to yesterday. Behind you! Trisha's voice rings out from across the surface. I slow down just enough to get a good look. The sheep is standing at the edge of the dock, body half crumbled over as she cups her maw to yell louder. Don't stop! Keep swimming! Dale slows down to look behind us, my head turning to meet him. I can feel it, moving in the water behind us. There is something behind us, something moving much faster than either of us can swim. It's heading straight towards us, heading straight from the center of the lake. Swim! Dale takes off, leaving me behind as he reaches top speed in just a few seconds. My legs and chest are burning, the toll from the full day rearing up to me as I swim faster than I ever have before. My adrenaline keeps me going, keeps me gliding and flying through the water's surface, body and mind focused on the one task that it was made to do. Keep going, Chip! I know that it's gaining on me. Through the water, my whiskers sense a predator getting closer and closer, the dread in my back of my skull pounding faster and faster, finally coming to a sick crescendo. I can't see in front of me, the water gliding so fast that past my eyes that everything is a blur. I can feel my body give out, even as Trisha screams and pleads for me to go faster, even as my time gets shorter and shorter. My lungs are about to give out, my legs and arms about to seize into violent cramps just as I reach the dock. My body flings itself on instinct, the thing in the water less than a second behind me. A hefty paw grabs my wrist at the crest of my jump, pulling me onto the dock as we roll hard onto the planks. Dale ends up on top of me, both of our chests heaving from the brutal ending of our marathon swim. Get up! Get up! So that's where I'm going to leave it for today. So, we have the first death again, really, yeah, it's actually a death. The only thing that's left is a foot. And the killer appears to be a fish monster, which is very different from when we were playing Janice's route, where it's like a horror slasher, disfigured bear person. And yeah, so it's kind of nice to see that they're gonna differentiate the killers per character that you choose to go with. But yeah. Anyways, so Miriam basically gets taken out again But it's not actually, she's not actually the first death. It's actually Ernesto this time. Which, I mean, good for her, I guess. Bad for Ernesto, though. And, yeah. At least, there is somebody there to see what's happening, which is, Trisha. She's able to, I guess, basically... She's gonna be able to corroborate, like, hey, yeah, these guys aren't, high or anything. There's like an actual fish monster that's following them, and it's gonna like try to kill us or something. But yeah, you know, at least it's not Janice who, you know. In case you've already started playing this visual novel, you might notice that there are some sounds that are not in the visual novel that are in the video, and that's because I added them in editing, just so you know. And if the creator of the visual novel happens to be watching these videos and you're like, wait a minute, I didn't add this in my visual novel, how come I'm hearing it now? Again, it's because I added it, and if you want, I'll stop, but if not, then, you know, I'm gonna probably keep doing it. If you would like these sounds, these ambient sounds, or the SFX, I'm, you know, just contact me and I'll send you the files, and, you know, I'll tell you when I added them or whatever. I'm pretty sure you're probably gonna end up doing that yourself eventually, I guess. I mean, it's... Yeah, anyways. But yeah. People are dying again. And again, like I said, it is kind of cool that they're gonna have like different... Or that it appears to have different killers per character. Because, I mean, we are only doing just the second character, so we don't know what's gonna happen with Trisha or with any of the other guys, so yeah. Now, Dale and Chip. You could, of course, go like, hey, Dale, I'm straight hetero, and I have a boyfriend. A girlfriend. Her name is Janice, and whatever we did, that's just, you know, a drunken thing, you know? We're not gonna be doing this again. But I kind of felt bad because, I mean, it's kind of clear that Dale likes Chip. So, like, I decided, you know what? Chip, you're going to be bisexual. So, you know, you're going to have to live with your consequences. You decided that you wanted to mess around with your friend, and now you're going to be bisexual. But it's kind of... well, I don't know. I was going to say something else, but nah. Anyway, so yeah, what are your thoughts so far on what's going on and the new killer? Write it down in the comments, and thank you all for watching / listening. If you would like to play Camp Ash yourself, you can do so by going down to the link in the description, which should have a direct link for the itch.io page where you can download and play the game yourself. As I'm saying this, I don't think that they've actually said what the killer looks like, so yeah, you're gonna have to see them in the next video. But yeah, it's not the same one as the previous one. It's a fish monster. Anyways, but yeah, so they do not have any form of support for the visual novel, but like, if they ever did have some form of support for the writer, and not specifically stating that it's for Camp Ash, it's just the person, then I will be linking that down in the description. If you would like to support me and the channel, you can subscribe and become a channel member, which gives you earlier access to these videos as they're being scheduled. So you get to watch them like a week and a half or 2 weeks in advance. It depends. It depends what I'm doing. But yeah. What else? Also Ko-fi in case you want to support through there. Or Throne in case you're feeling very generous. But yeah, anyway, so I guess that's it for now, and I will see you guys in the next part. Bye-bye.